Hey, originally this week I wanted to do the real life video on spoilers and Starfield and stuff like that, sort of my spoiler policy, but we'll probably hold off on that for a bit. I still want to do that video, and we may do it tomorrow or the next day or something like that before Starfield comes out into early access at least. But anyway, this is a much, bleaker video than I was originally expecting to do. I guess content warning here at the beginning. We'll be talking about some pretty rough stuff if you're sensitive to that sort of thing. Like really, really bad sicknesses, like terminal sicknesses, and death. If that kind of thing is going to bring up any kind of traumatic experience for you or whatever, probably skip this one. And like I said, coming up soon, we'll do the more lighthearted usual sort of fare with the Starfield spoiler talk, right? Skip this one. Anyway, in the last real life video, you'll remember, we've sort of been using these as like also a way to, have a time capsule situation, right? I said that this could in some ways fulfill part of the role of Morrowind to be sort of a look back in time sort of situation for myself, a fun way to look back at things. Of course, that means that also worse things will happen in that time, right? Bad stuff will happen, inevitably. And such a thing has happened. You'll remember last week I said that I would need to potentially cut short some videos or skip some altogether. And if you've noticed, we skipped all of Monday's videos. I announced ahead of time on Twitter that I would be doing that as well. If you want sort of breaking updates in that regard, Twitter is probably the way to go. Otherwise, if it's no big deal to you, you just, whatever happens, happens. Anyway, that warning that I put out, so to speak, in last week's is tied to this. It's all connected in that way. So my partner's mother died on Saturday evening to pretty bad, pretty aggressive liver and colon cancer. And it progressed really quickly, a lot quicker than a lot of us suspected. Obviously, I want to run all of this by my partner as well, just to make sure that I'm not speaking out of bounds, out of hand, right? I mentioned something similar to that on Twitter as well, that we would be doing that for such a touchy subject, right? But, yeah, the diagnosis or prognosis, I'm not sure the difference. It came in probably around Tuesday or something like that, and that prompted the video. And it was still pretty bad then. It was still pretty bad. It was stage 4, just out of nowhere. Well, not technically out of nowhere, but I guess we'll get into that a little bit. That was the prognosis or diagnosis at the time. It was stage 4, which is, the worst of it. And we were given some time frames. We were given some estimates on time. And as the week kind of went on, we kept getting new estimates for time. And those estimates kept getting smaller and smaller until finally, like I said, on Saturday, she was just gone completely. It was pretty rough. We were able to, when we got the initial word from the doctor that it was stage 4 stuff, stage 4 cancer, we were able to get a lot of family out to see her. But her condition, like I said, it just worsened really quite rapidly. Toward the last day, she was just unable to really speak properly, right? And I think, I don't know, I probably shouldn't speak out of hand about this, but I don't know, our best guess, as like a lot of people were wondering if maybe it progressed so quickly because it was liver and colon, and that, you know, impacts your ability to sort of eat and digest and like take in hydration and stuff like that. So that sort of makes it go exponentially quicker if you roll those dice. It makes that happen quicker. Sorry, I'm not exactly a professional at this. Apologies. Originally, she had experienced, over the course of maybe the past year or so roughly, she got COVID, and then followed up that with shingles, pretty rough. And then at the time, she said that she had like a second return of the shingles, like a second flare-up or something, which isn't, I guess, unheard of. But now, in retrospect, we think that was like also some signs of the cancer severity really amping up. And we were wondering if maybe those two ailments or whatever sort of spurred it on. I don't know. I guess it's entirely within the realm of possibility as far as I know, but like I said, I'm not really qualified to say one way or the other. And I think the big lesson to take away there, and maybe it's part of the reason why I felt the need to share so much about this, is that she did put off going to the doctor when she really should not have. When it came to both COVID and shingles, she opted not to see any sort of trained professional or whatever, and that almost certainly would have helped to catch this at a much earlier state, right, before it could progress to the point where it was when it was caught, because by then it was already so horrible of a situation that, I don't know, it got rough enough to where she was willing to seek out help, but it was just too little too late. So I would say that like the big lesson here for all of us is that if you do have something like that, if you're, and of course it is a privilege to be able to do such a thing, but if you are able, please do go and get it checked out as early as possible, because that could open up so many more routes, so many more options for you, and potentially give you so much more time. Because like I said, in this situation, I don't know, the time frames were just shrinking so rapidly, and her condition after, I guess Thursday it was, just very rapidly deteriorated. It was really, really horrible to witness. I've also had, on my side of things, I've also had a pretty close family member, a great aunt. This was, I don't know, probably in 2009 or 2008, something like that. I had this great aunt who was very similar to a grandmother to me. We were very close. And she also had a similar disposition toward getting herself checked out. And she also got, like I said, it's been a while, but I believe it was initially breast cancer that spread to the brain and became brain cancer. And I believe it was not caught until the brain cancer resulted in her having the first of at least 2 or 3, I can't remember now, strokes. And that was how it was ultimately caught. But yeah, just to reiterate, I think maybe the big takeaway from all of this is just to, like, I don't know, like we say at the end of all the videos, take care of each other, right? If you feel like you need to, you should go and get yourself checked out in this way. But yeah, I don't really want to go into too many specifics on such a public forum, so we'll very intentionally keep it mostly vague. But yeah, it was just a really, really terrible situation. It was just really fucking bad. It was horrible to see. It was horrible for all the family involved and everything. I mean, I'm glad that they were able to get out here just in the nick of time, because none of us knew really how quickly it was about to progress at the rate that it was already. I don't know. I guess that's the silver lining, right? But yeah, things here are, I guess, progressing at, I don't know, based on my past experience with death of this nature, it's going about normal, I would say, for everybody else, for my partner and surviving family, right? It's going about how you would expect. I'm sure as time goes on, things will continue to improve. Already, right now, things have, as far as morale is concerned, things have improved tremendously, of course, since sort of the initial event on Saturday. Yeah, as for myself, I'm doing all right, and that's not like one of those situations where someone says, oh, I'm okay. I am genuinely doing all right now. Probably I guess insight into my own person and psyche here for this situation. Like I said, I'm unfortunate enough to have experienced this before, granted some years ago now. But in this situation, in this case, probably, and weirdly, the time when it hit me the hardest was actually when, like, it sounds ridiculous to even say it, but probably when I was just writing up a Facebook post in private for family and friends. I don't know, just something about putting it out there in words or whatever sort of made it reach like a degree of finality, made it reach like some form of closure that maybe I didn't know I needed. I'm not even sure, but regardless, like I said, it sounds ridiculous, but I guess that's just how these things can sometimes go. Sometimes it is the frivolous things that will just get you. But I don't know, when I started typing out just this Facebook post on my computer, I was bawling my eyes out doing it about halfway or a third of the way through. I don't know. It was pretty bad. I dug up an old picture of her that I really liked that I took, probably my favorite picture that I ever took of her, and attached that to the post, and I put it up, and I don't know, after I put it up, like I said, it's weird. It's very strange, and I guess people just process it in their own way, and as time goes on, you process things differently, like I said, especially if you have experience with it in some form or another. You process it at a different rate and everything in a different way, in your own way. But yeah, after posting it, I feel like I reached some bizarre form of closure. It was very weird. Also, if you watched today's Fable video, you'll know that, and I'm not really showing symptoms right here, because I've taken some medicine earlier in the day, but I did get a bit of a cold throughout this process as well. Really not a bad cold whatsoever. But I don't know, it really sort of amped up in its intensity from that session of writing up the post and like crying my eyes out doing it. just kind of in silence, just sitting there at the computer, just kind of thinking over the words to use, looking through the pictures of what picture to use. There was just something, I don't know, weirdly emotional about that got to me. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be really good too, I think, on a personal level. I think I'm looking forward to Starfield at the end of this week even more now, as some form of escapism to sort of, I don't know, just clear this sort of from my mind and, stop sort of dwelling too much on it if I end up in that route, which I don't think I am, just sort of assessing my own self here. I don't think I am, but just in the event that I am, sort of subconsciously doing that, like I said, Starfield will be a sort of good period for like turning over a new leaf, as it were. Anyway, I guess to reiterate one more time, the big takeaway from this, the big lesson here is, like I said, regardless of what type of person you are, what kind of personality you have, if you feel like something's wrong, like I said, and if you have the privilege to be able to do so, get it checked out. I don't know. I feel like you hear this kind of thing so many times, these sorts of PSAs, as it were, that if you notice something, get it checked out or whatever. But I don't know. I guess I'm just another voice adding to that crowd. But like I said, it can buy you some more options. It can buy you some more time. And yeah, like we say at the end of all of these videos, take care of each other.